Hey, good morning, good evening, everybody. I don't know what to say anymore because Max is like 7 o'clock p.m. where he's at. So it's just he's telling me good morning. I don't know. Wherever you are, whenever you watch this video, hello, happy day. Today is the 22nd. And Max, I have to commend you on your shirt. I just think that is like, yeah, that's I don't know what you call that, but to me that's like a Hawaiian shirt. I know it's not a Hawaiian shirt, but you're in Thailand, man. It's time to get some colors and good food. And so,
Yeah,
Max is living that lifestyle. He is in Thailand. What town? You're in Bangkok right now?
yeah.
And
For
where are you
another two
going?
days.
Where are you going
Uh,
next?
to a small beach town, like 5 hours from here. Like we've booked a taxi already. They're gonna pick us up. Like in Europe or in the US, like you would never really get a taxi for like a 5 hour trip. But
Yeah.
here, that's gonna cost us like $120.
I picture you on one of those little motorcycles going. You're not going to do that?
Nah, it's too far away. But I'm gonna have one of those on the island, which is where I'm gonna go after the beach town.
Do they have bigger ones? I feel like I'd break the bike. Do they have like bigger bikes or are they all those little tiny
No,
bikes?
you can also rent like proper motorbikes here as
Okay,
well.
yeah, all right.
Big
I
ones.
do it to think I look cool, but it's actually like I don't want to. But in all seriousness, guys, that's what it's all about. It's about having fun, and we're having a lot of fun in our community. We have so many people joining. It's crazy. It's definitely an uptick, and we're seeing more and more people saying referred by a friend. So that is like the ultimate. We love that because that tells us we're doing something right. And what we're doing right tonight, we are having, so as you may or may not know, we have a recent win of the Super Funnel Academy is our what we call our flagship product where us and our students have brought in over seven figures with that particular platform. It works, guys. And this is something that came from an idea of giving people what they want, which is a done for you product, and it's turned into something that's massive. And we're only at the beginning. What's special about tonight is for the first time, so as we said with time zones, we would always when we've done this presentation before and we've added our presentation is so amazing right now. We would have it in the afternoon because it would work for me, it would work for Max. And we had that every single time. And we'd always hear from people, hey, can you do this? Like it works for Europe, which is great, but for USA, Canada, Australia doesn't really work. So tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are going to have our presentation. You want to be there, you want to join us. Some of the giveaways we're going to give away are absolutely insane, including done for you traffic in a crazy, crazy way. You want to be there, you want to watch it. Now, when I said that, I was so excited that, we're having 8 p.m. for USA and Canada. Of course, someone said, well, that time doesn't work for me. I'm in the UK. And I'm like, we literally have done this so many times for the UK. Anyway, it's never going to be perfect for anyone, but for a lot of people, they're going to be excited that it's at 8 p.m. So every day we're here. Oh, also, post I had yesterday, Max, was really, really well received. And we always talk about you know, people say make $1 million overnight, and that's kind of like a negative when people say that for obvious reasons. They're like, oh, this is a product that's going to tell you how to make $1 million overnight. And then it's like the next kind of level of that is how much money do you want to make online? And people just say 10,000 a month. It's like the default answer, 10,000 a month. And that's cool, but it's also sometimes misguided if you haven't made any money online. So I made a post yesterday in the community. It's like, look, what if you haven't made any money at all? How can you make let's get the ball rolling before we say $1 million overnight, before we say $10,000 a month. Let's start making money, period. And I referenced Max how I love how you have made and continue to make money. You do a lot of things with this. There's kind of a next level thing called service arbitrage, but in where you don't even have to do the work. And we go into that in our lead community. But one of the things, Max, and maybe I'm giving away your secret, but one of the things that you do that I love is that Max, for a long time, and maybe you can talk about this, you were clicking a button literally on a tool, removing backgrounds, and people were paying you for this. And it just really shows you something where, and of course, you have a bunch of skills, Max, but in this case, you didn't need any skills. You weren't someone that was necessarily good with Photoshop. You were able to click a button and get paid. And so I referenced that thing just to kind of open people's minds that like that is a way to make money. People really, really love that post. So Max, you just want to talk about that. First of all, talk about tonight and then talk about that kind of notion of the like the removal and stuff.
Yeah, guys. So as James already said, we're gonna go live at 8 p.m. Usually it's like 1 p.m. EST, but then many people are like, "Oh, we can't make it. We can't make it. It's like not a good time for us. I'm at work, whatever." Now it's 8 p.m. EST. So we hope that the majority of people who register or who have registered will be able to attend. That's our Super Funnel Academy webinar. I highly recommend that you check it out because it has recently won us and our students a 2 Comma Club award and like really good stuff. If you're serious about like really making it online, then you should attend this webinar. And then what James just said is I have sold like different services online without me actually having to do any of the work or hardly any of the work. I've outsourced it to others, or I've used super easy to use tools that anyone out there could just go ahead and use, but like 99.999% of the people don't know that these sites even exist. So only because I know a website that someone else doesn't know, I can charge money for it. And this was usually something that I charged like $10 to $15 for. It's like a minute of work. It's not even a minute of work. It's no work at all. Like you click on a button to upload an image, the tool deletes the background, and you click on the button to download the picture, and you deliver it. Like that's how easy it really is. But I had that one client, and he sent me a picture, and I thought like, oh, that picture is gonna be a little bit too complex, and that was years ago. And I was actually, but I still remember it as if it was yesterday because that was my highest paid background removal gig. I was like, all right, you can send me that image. I was gonna actually send it to someone else in like Pakistan or India to remove the background for $5. And I was like, I'm gonna charge $45 for it because it's like it's not so easy to remove the picture, the background. And then I went ahead and I still tried that free website, and it just did a perfect job. So the guy was like, wow, that is amazing. Like you are so fast and it looks like super amazing. And he even tipped me $20. So and like 5-star review and like, oh, Max is so professional, super fast, and like like one of the best experiences I had on the platform. And he paid me $65 for me, like uploading a picture, 3 seconds, clicking on download, and then delivering it immediately. $65 earned, like 10 seconds of my time invested. So that's what you can do online. And this is not the only service that you can sell using easy to use tools, or just, you can also outsource everything to others. So if someone in India, for example, charges $5 for something, and you're in the US, you can easily charge like 30, 40, 50 for the same service. And obviously you pocket the difference while you only need to like communicate with the person that you hire and with your client. And no one will ever find out that it was actually someone else who got the work done. And this stuff is really easy. Everyone can do it, but in the end, it's just really about also going ahead and doing it, which is what most people struggle with. Is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try service arbitrage, but are you ever gonna start?
Yeah.
No, that's the biggest problem. Like I hear so many people talk about things that they want to start, but then like a few months later, I'm like, yeah, and have you actually started? And they're like, no, because blah 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 blah. So you need to do stuff because the opportunities are out there, and the people who are using them, they're making money. But if you don't, then the reason is usually not that the strategy doesn't work, but that you don't want to do the work, like the work. When it comes to service arbitrage, there's not much required. But yeah, that's just one of the things that you can do online, that everybody can do online. And now there is AI, so you can use AI to get that work done as well. It's just like there are unlimited opportunities out there, really.
Yeah, and when you get your headspace into when you think about we're at the point where there's so much opportunity, and it's a matter of what do we want to focus on. That's a different level. We're going to go deeper on this in the elite community. If you haven't been part of the elite community, you want to join it below. But it's really interesting, Max. Like that. Like, listen, I don't care where you're from, right? We're all from different places, and I'm from Canada, but I'm from like kind of a rural part of Canada, like whatever, you know what I mean? It's very different than growing up in, let's say, Toronto. Max is from Germany. Max is from a small area in Germany. He's not from Berlin or, Munich or whatever. So all that to say, I don't care if you're from India or whatever it is, right? The point is this, there's something to be said about, especially if you're from a Western country. I saw a quote yesterday and somebody's like, make your money, make your money in the US, spend it in Latin America. I read a book one time called The 4 Hour Work Week with Tim Ferriss, and he did a whole thing where he was making money US dollars, whatever, euros, whatever, bigger currency, but he was living in a country where it was cheaper. So think about that in terms of services. Now we might think we're all good and we're so amazing because we live in a first world country. There's a lot of talented people, a lot of smarter people than us that live in countries that are not as advantaged. And for some people, $5 to them is a big deal. Okay, now we can debate on whether or not that's fair in terms of the world, but guess what? It's like there are people in Germany, there are people in the United States, Canada, and I can name a bunch of countries that are willing to pay, let's say, $50 to $100 for a certain service. But there is somebody more talented than me, more talented than Max, more talented than you, the person watching this video, that might do that thing for $5. So that's what we talk about for service arbitrage. That there's someone that's talented that can do the work that may appreciate, let's just say $5, but there's someone else from another country that's willing to pay $100. And then if you could just put the two together, which is very easy to do, you could be making $95 just from saying I can do this and someone else is willing to do it. So there's a big deal and a lot can happen. So just wanted to break that down because that post yesterday went kind of viral in terms of our community. But just circling back, you want to be on that call tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, Super Funnel Academy. That is our flagship product. Be there live, join us, and we will see you next time.